Peekaboo. Hi, how you doing today? So I've got Harry back with me again, and today on the Mindful Studio, we are going to work on striking an object with a short implement. Now, before we actually get to something like a racket, we're just going to use some nice rounds. These are the covers to some cookie tins. You can use this. You can use one of your cardboard cutouts from when you made your Gogoyim target. You can use the top to one of your plastic takeout food containers that you maybe upcycled or recycled. Okay, and if you don't have any of those things, you can just keep practicing with big open hands because those are perfectly good for striking objects up and over a target. Okay, so Harry and I are going to help you go through the steps of how to use your body to strike an object with a short-handed implement. And what I want you to remember through all of this is anytime we're adding a piece of equipment to something like volleying or serving or hitting or striking, that piece of equipment has to become an extension of our body, almost like you're adding a robot part, or when you're building with your Legos, how you add things on to make them longer and stronger, right? So we're going to start. Make sure you have a nice big open hand, and you're going to put your fingers on one side, and then you're going to close your thumb on the other side, and you're going to keep this part of your body, your wrist, nice and tight and locked in that position. You don't want it to be flimsy or wobbly, because then when you take the striking implement and put it against the object, it's going to change the direction that you're trying to push it in, and that's not going to be good for reaching your target. Okay, so make sure your wrist is tight, make sure your arm is in a nice extended position, and that your elbow locks in the position that you choose to keep it in. Okay, we're going to be using this joint over here, our shoulder joint, to work with today. So we're only swinging from the shoulder. So let's just put our striking objects down for a minute and just warm up those shoulder muscles. So Harry, if you could just step back a little bit further from me so they can see you. We're going to take our arms out to the side, and we're going to do small arm circles forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it small. 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's reverse and go backwards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Let's pick them up. Okay. And we just want to make sure that we can drop. So let's drop one forward and one back. Here's a little bit of a coordination challenge for you. You ready? So we're going to move one arm forward, one arm back, and see if you can drop them and bring them back around. It's challenging. Try it again. You ready? So move one arm forward, one arm back, and drop and circle. Drop. See if you can keep going. It's a big challenge. If you stop at the top, let's reverse it. Start slowly. One arm forward, one arm back, drop. Pick it back up, drop. It's so much fun, and your joints are nice and loose. Okay, so the shoulder joint's a really great joint to use because it can circle and it can move back and forth like this, and that's because Mr. Bones is going to show you. That's because the type of joint, okay, it's a socket joint. So the bone up there, okay, on the top of that humerus, sits right underneath the scapula, and it can pivot, and it can also move front and back. And depending on how flexible your muscles are, that's how far back you can stretch and how far forward you can stretch. So do make sure to warm up those joints before you do any kind of racket activity. Okay? All right. Thank you, Mr. Bones. We'll put you down. We'll see you later. Say bye. Bye. Okay. All right, Harry. Let's get our striking implements. So make sure you're holding your striking implement like I showed you. Lock your wrist, extend your arm, lock your elbow. How are you going to start over there? I'm going to start back here. Let's open our feet in athletic stance. Knees bent, shoulder width apart, little width over there. Make sure you have room behind you, because the first thing we're going to be doing is stepping back. So athletic stance, ready. Striking implement in front. You can reach both arms forward like that. Now we're going to pivot back. So take the same foot as the object hand, and you're going to step back with a little bit of a turn. See that? Great. Now we're going to take your striking arm, and we're going to pull back at the same height as your shoulder. Now we're going to take a short step sideways. Push your arm forward. We're watching the object come in right about here. You're going to take the center of your object and strike it with a tight wrist against the object, and then keep going forward and up and finish right here. Let's try that one more time. Athletic stance, ready. Knees bent, feet apart. Object in front. Okay, don't forget to keep your eye on the incoming object. Here we go. Pivot back, pull your arm back, step sideways to the target, swing and push, strike, lift, finish. Let's smooth it out and do it one more time. Athletic stance, ready. Object in front. Pivot back, pull your arm back, step sideways, swing, push, strike, lift, and hold. Great. And the whole time, we're watching the object. So when we add a balloon into the mix, I have to keep my eyes on that balloon. Even though I'm moving my whole body here, I want to keep my eyes on the balloon and try to strike it with the center of my object. So as the balloon comes in, I'm going to have to speed that whole sequence up. So here it goes. It's coming up on pivot, pull, strike, up, over. Okay, great. Harry, you can let it go. Thank you. Let me show them one more time. You can stand right over there. Thank you. Okay, so one more time. I'm going to get that object up. I'm going to get ready because I know I'm going to be pivoting back and pulling my arm. It's almost at the same time. Here I go. So watch the object. Pivot, pull, push, strike, lift, and finish. And the whole time, I keep my eyes right on that object, even after I strike it, because I want to make sure that it's going where I want it to go. Okay, so Harry and I are going to try that. It's kind of a tight space. You're probably working in a tight space, but that's okay. Just use something nice and light like a balloon or your inflated plastic bag. Okay? All right, Harry, let's go. Hey, we're not going for power. We're going for control. Just tap it lightly. So athletic stance ready. Objects in front. Okay, here we go. I'm going to self-serve. Lift at the top. Don't forget to push forward and up. Good. Forward, lift that racket, Harry. Nice backhand. Try to reposition for your forehand. Whoop. Okay. And when we catch it on the fly, make sure you catch it against that racket, just to practice good catching technique here. Okay, why don't you serve? Remember, we're trying to push forward and lift up at the top. Here we go. Okay, pivot back. Good. Forward and up. Good. Whoops, reposition. Got to use quick feet to get under the ball. Okay, we don't have a net, so we can move anywhere, and that's fine. Oh, all right. So don't worry about any nets. Just work in the space that you have. If it's really tight and you have a flat wall, you can just tap your object off the wall. Just make sure there's no pictures or anything on there that you're going to knock down. All right, give it a go. If the weather gets nice and you actually have a racket that you can practice with and your grown-up says it's okay, go ahead outside, observe social distancing, and have some fun with it. Don't forget to put it in your activity log, and we'll see you next time on the Mindful Studio. Good job, Harry. Bye, guys. See you soon.